Training ground. You ask for it, you get it. Ryu and I will rip your photos into smithereens. Hold on to your headphones. Here comes the pain.
And painful it is to start up with Google Hangout. Matt just said that we always have a difficult time getting things done over here because of the fact that it's just, like things change every single time with Google. Like install this and change that and change this. And yeah. Anyhow, without further ado, actually, you know what? Before we go that, I just want you to think about us because it's very important that you think about us every day, every waking moment of your life. And the reason is that we are asking for pledges for you. If you are a regular user of Big Lens Fast Shutter, whether it be on Facebook or on the Flickr group page, obviously you don't like watching this video because you're watching this right now. Please, consider pledging for us, to us. For mere $10 a month, you'll get Training Ground and you'll get the podcast. Even if you don't pay for it, you get both of them. Wow, that's great, But I think with all the hard work we put in, I believe that we deserve, some cash because, we're working professionals. We have cats to feed and wives to feed as well. And it's very difficult, if you don't have any money coming in. So if you're interested in pledging for us, please go to patreon.com/BLFS. And that is patreon.com/BLFS. And for $10, you get to even ask a question. You have different things that actually come with different pledge levels. So check it out. And have a go. It's patreon.com/BLFS. It's patreon.com/BLFS. And now we have a lot to get through. So we're going to start with Jim Stalmer's photography, and he is panning. Matt Cohen.
Yes, this is a panning picture. It's not terrible. He did actually blur it out enough, and he matched her speed, but that's really all it is. Just an exercise in panning. The person in the background is distracting, and it's not interesting enough to be anything other than just an example of panning.
Yeah. And there's quite a lot I think people kind of get really caught up on this panning thing. So you can pan all you want. We would like to see people do different things because I think I understand the fact that panning is quite a interesting thing because, everything's blurry and you get all excited about it, but don't get too caught up in it because, I don't want all your things to be panning. All right.
I mean, here's the thing. I make panning pictures basically every time I shoot, no matter what I'm shooting. But you do have to have, there either has to be a good reason for it or the end result has to be amazing. It's not, and this is why we did the unpredictable subject thing, because that makes it more interesting. If you're just doing race cars or doing things that are going in directions where you know where they're going at speeds that you know that they're going at, you end up with this. No, absolutely no.
No. What the hell is this? Simon West with a picture of a cricket match.
I can't really think of anything more boring than this. I really can't. They're setting up the wickets and the guy in the foreground is out of focus and the scoreboard in the background is out of focus. But so what you're doing is you're screaming, look at these guys. And then you look at them and you can't see either one of their faces. Neither of them are doing anything interesting at all. No, absolutely not. I have no idea what you're thinking.
The thing is, you always have to see it from a perspective of someone who has no idea about anything, not even sports. And you have to ask yourself, okay, is this interesting at all? Just really not from your point of view, you might find this interesting, but I totally don't find this interesting. That doesn't find it interesting. I think 99%.
I don't think the world's foremost authority on cricket would find this interesting.
Oh, I'm sure they will. They find everything interesting about cricket. So no, Simon, you can't do this. Okay, it has to be something more interesting. This is not. This is beyond anything else. You kind of tripped on the first hurdle. So this should have been a bin. It shouldn't even be here. This is so bad. It's a panning fiesta.
Yeah, this is better than the roller derby one.
Why?
So you have things, those yellow jerseys, which I'm guessing are the other team, are balancing it out compositionally. You can see the ball. He did get the guy's face. The background, that white strip is distracting, but it's consistently distracting, so it's not like a blob or something. And then you can see the motion in his legs. That's probably between the ball and the motion of his legs are probably the best parts of this picture, and probably why I like it. It's the ball is clear enough, the legs are motion. This is what panning is for, to show motion. And if you're especially like roller skates or whatever, and if they're just coasting along on roller skates, then you're really not getting any kind of motion at all. You're just getting blur. Here you're actually getting motion. So I'm okay with this. It's not, like I said, that white strip in the background is not great. But other than that, it's a good effort, and this is what I want to see. Like rugby and American football are things that are very unpredictable and can lead to great panning pictures if you commit to it. And he's done that here. So, I have no problem with this picture. I don't even know. I don't think this should be here. I think this is fine.
Yeah, no, I don't think it should be here at all. Yeah, I'm not gonna say like it's the world's best panning picture ever, but you got all the basics done right. It's fine. Yeah, the white background thing is distracting. And I think
it's just a shame. That's all it is. It's unfortunate.
And the people in the back,
because you're layering on more unpredictable things, over already an unpredictable situation. Like you don't know when you're going to be in a position to do something like this, and it's very difficult to figure out what's going to be in the background when you are. So I'm willing to let all of that slide. What I'm not willing to let slide is if you're going to shoot at F11 or 22 or whatever it is, you have to clear your sensor off, because there's several spots of dust. And we talked about this a little bit the last time. I don't like shooting at F22, and because of things like this, like I'm out in the dirt and dust and mud and all of that all the time, and it's really difficult for me to keep my sensors clear. Neutral density filters are your friend, and they will help you not have to shoot at such high apertures that, I don't know if people understand this, but the higher the f-stop, the more apparent anything on your sensor is going to be. If you're shooting wide open, you're never going to see it. Your sensor can be as dusty as you want. It's not going to matter. The further and further you stop down, the more apparent the dust spots are going to be. One way around that is to use neutral density filter that cuts down on the light going in, so that your lens can be more wide open and still have the same exposure. This has the added byproduct of not, popping out those dust spots like we're looking at here.
Moving on to Bowden women's hockey team. It's very close to being a very, very good picture.
It's half and half, right?
Yeah, and I think that I really like the fact that you chose to do this, that you want to you're going for the people's reaction, and you're quite patient in waiting for that action to happen. But I think the problem is that you kind of really want the audience, the fans, to react a lot more. I mean, I can see that they're reacting, but not to the point that I'd like to say, whoa. And that's really honestly a matter of luck at that point, because you can't really tell people to say, hey, react, really surprised that, this girl's getting checked into the boards. Really, there's nothing you can do about it. So I would say that in these type of situations, that if you're not basically getting the results from the reaction from the audience, what the biggest, they're basically reacting to what's happening on ice, I would just say, fuck it, I'm just not gonna do it, and go look for another fan, another corner you can actually shoot like this. You basically get the glass, and if you're gonna do this, make sure it's all straight, because that really bothers me. You got everything done right, but the glass basically should be, perpendicular to everything else, not like this little skewed thing. And if you probably crop it, you're going to crop out the feet and everything as well of the skates, and that's not going to be good. And that's something you can really do. And if I would like, because I think I have a feeling this is something you kind of like thought about, like, oh yeah, I think I should do this, and did it for like, I don't know, however minutes you did it for. But I would like to see it that you actually put more time in it, so you have all these like really basic things done correctly. One other thing I can possibly think of is quite hardcore fans of the team. They will probably be going crazy when this is happening. So maybe you actually find fans that are going to be more responsive to the action that is on the ice, so you get more response, and therefore you get a better picture. Should I go on? Okay, that's fine. It's done. That's it. I might go on the other one.
Yeah, we've seen some examples. I think Kevin, is it Kevin that did the reflection off the glass?
Yeah.
Matt, it's
Just
hard to
talk
do.
Just talk on now. Just have to go get something. Just talk on. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, this is hard to do because the positions that you're able to shoot from are limited. So the zone of where people have to be reflected is limited. The thing is that you can look at this and you can say it's a nice idea, but it's still all going to be dependent on what's going on in the play, and it's just not interesting. What you want here is somebody getting sent to the penalty box, yelling at the ref and getting that reflection, or putting their head in their hands because they just lost a game, or a crazy play or something like that. But whatever it is, it has to be interesting. And just because you had the idea that this reflection would look cool doesn't make a play more interesting than it was. This is, yes, it's more visually appealing than if it had only been the game action, but it's still not enough to clear the bar of, is this a good picture? It's not.
That's really like the key of every photography ever, but it's not just sports, I mean, you can use the most amazing funny lens and lights and composition and everything you can possibly think of, any technique you can think of. If the picture itself is not interesting, it's not interesting. It's really quite simple. So no, this is a bit shit. I don't like this one at all. Ed Bindle.
Nope.
Yeah, it's
you have to. What we're coming up on
everything here.
There are pictures that are less than the sum of their parts, and there's pictures that are more than the sum of their parts. And what we've been seeing, especially the last one and this one, this is less than what it could have been. You have somebody, you have somebody celebrating, you have dejection, like you're looking for that. That's part of the way there. But instead, what you have is the person looking the wrong way, and you're shooting it way too high of an f-stop, because how can you have the player and the ref? They're 5 feet apart and they're both in focus. And then you look in the background, you can almost recognize the people who are in the background. So listen, you don't always. What are we at?
F3.2? No.
Well, then this is a crazy crop of a wide angle shot or something.
And that's probably the reason why. And if that's the case, like if you're gonna stick with doing a wide angle thing, I just stick with it. I mean, I'm sure it would actually
play to your lens, play to your strengths. You can't ask your gear to do things that it can't do.
Millimeter.
Well, it's 150.
150. Yeah.
So he was very, very far away.
Yeah, it's not good.
And this is cropped down, and that's just not a good. You can't do that. Like technically, you can't do that because the reason you have a 2.8 lens to be able to blur out the background, right? And what you're doing by shooting from too far away and then cropping down is we're playing the DX FX game where you're crop sensor or full size sensor or whatever. You're too far away. 3.2 is not going to get it done when you're that far away, because you can tell. Like, look at I'm trying to figure out where that hash mark is. It's got to be 5 feet away from where the ref is, right? So the player and the ref are 5 feet apart, and they're both totally in focus, and that means they're too far away. it could mean you're shooting with too high of an f-stop, but that's not the case here. So you're too far away. You crop down, so you take a picture that looks like it should be isolating the player, and meanwhile everything's in focus. You just can't do it like that. You have to, if you're going to shoot a wide angle, then shoot a wide angle and get everything in focus, but be real careful about the composition. And if you're going to try and isolate the celebration and ejection, then you need to be much closer than this.
And I think you might get like might have gotten a bit too caught up in the whole thing. You know, like there's a lot going on in I was gonna say cricket match, lacrosse match, and I'm absolutely sure it's just not the goal. And you know, people who's gotten scored and winning and losing, there's a lot going on. And like Matt said, you have to really understand like how long your lens goes and how close it goes and how it behaves. And if you're in a situation like this, I'm assuming the guy didn't really come to you. Like, I think he scored. He walked over there. He's probably looking for his teammates. So he probably turned, and that's where you thought, okay, and you got the rest of the picture, and it didn't really go as what you planned. So you thought this is the best shot. And I probably think if I was in your shoe, I probably just, shoot it wide, and try to concentrate on like if the teammates coming together and things like that was a really good scene. Maybe it was. And so these kind of extreme crop isn't going to do you any good as a sports photographer. Like it's like basically like it's agency photography type of thing. I just want to get the goals and the winning and the losing. Try to concentrate like all the beautiful moments that's really in between and make it interesting, and not try to basically fit everything into one thing, like Matt said, and try to show something that really isn't the case. This is too far. It's not interesting. Just so many things are in focus, and it's shit. So not good. Shitty photography, not a good thing. See, I'm telling you, it's panning fiesta. So it's not a panning one.
This is the same as the roller derby one.
It's really, really bad.
And this is worse because it's not slow enough to actually be a panning picture. This is like, oops, I knock my shutter speed down to 3/20th instead of 1,000th or something. It's
it's too fast. I mean, dude, try like 1/5 of a second. And I think the problem will be that it will be too bright if you're shooting under the sun. Matt said, you should go get a neutral density filter to do that, or try shooting an evening match. That would actually work a lot better. In general, there's nothing interesting happening. That's the problem here. And same thing over and over and over and over.
And this is like photo 101, right? The composition is completely off, and this is something that you need to get. This is below the level of what we ordinarily talk about, but I'm going to do it just because we're on the subject. You can't have a guy directly in the middle of the frame, nothing at all except empty space on the left side of the frame, and then half of a player on the right side of the frame.
I don't understand that decision. I should leave that guy there.
I need you to look at this picture and burn it into your memory that this is bad composition, and understand why. It's completely out of balance. Like, forget what's actually going on. Pretend that it wasn't a panning picture. Pretend that we're not dinging you for not going slow enough. All of that. Pretend that there is something actually interesting going on. Compositionally, at its very basic photo 101 level, this doesn't work because the left side of the screen just completely falls off, and you're looking at this saying, well, this guy's smack dab in the middle, so he's throwing the rule of thirds to the wind. And then you have this guy who's cut off on the right hand side. It's all very distracting, and you don't want to do this. You want to have balance in your composition, and this isn't that at all. Like, it's just you're starting off behind the 8 ball when you do something like this.
Ed, we're gonna give you a bit of a task for next month. I want you to basically set your lens to 200 on your 7200, and don't move it for the entire game. So I only want you to I really want you to fill the entire frame.
Don't step back to compensate for going to the long end. Like you shoot where you were shooting from and shoot at 200.
Yeah, and get close-ups, get details, get everything. But like this is on the other side of the field, because I just saw it's 200. So it's basically on the other side. Like don't fuck that. Don't bother. Okay, get something interesting going on. Try not to like fit everything into the frame because it doesn't really make it interesting at all. I like this. I think it's very good, this one. Except for the fact I don't like the background, but I think the motion is fantastic,
Yeah, this doesn't need to be here.
No. So, no. This does. Amar. So, I mean, I don't understand. Like, is it your son? Like, is it your friend's son or something? Like, or you honestly thought this was interesting? Because I don't feel any what is he doing?
Little kid imitates, Premier League player or something. It's
but he's not doing anything interesting. Like, is he on the knees and like doing it? All the teammates are gathering. No, he's just doing that, and that's it. There's just nothing going on other than that. And if it's one thing that is happening and it's very interesting, I really don't mind. The rest can really get, it can be a black background and someone doing some interesting, someone who's doing something interesting. They'll be great, but that's not the case, The action, the subject, everything has to be interesting for it to be an interesting picture to start with. Just a kid raising his left arm and looking up is not going to do anything. That's kind of how it goes, And we'll have another one anyway. Right, Matt, that's a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, this is better than the one before, but it's. I hate to be too harsh on this because it is better than the other one, but the thing is, you need more, more of a like he's resting at this point, like it's over, right? The dust is literally settling at this point. If he fell backwards or something like that, like his shoulders are touching the ground. What you want to see is some kind of I don't know, not motion, but exertion or something like that. Like
right before he hits the ground or something like that,
Yeah, it's just everything's been used up at this point. Like I think it's like you've used up all the potential energy, you've used up all the kinetic energy, and now it's just at rest, right? And the only thing that's going on here is that there's a little bit of dust in here. I want to see more dust and more. It has to be more extreme. Like you have to catch that moment, and what you have here is the remnants of a moment, and it's most of the time that's not going to be enough.
No, and it's a shame because I actually don't mind these kind of pictures, but the thing is, like,
no, it just has too many different things working against it. Like, the thing is that this is a good learning experience, I think, because look at the one before and then look at this one and figure out what's better about it and what's not, and then look at this and just see. The worst part of this is the shoulders on the ground. Like there's no tension in this kid's body. It's just all been used up. And that's the problem. It's just anybody who knows anything about this is going to know that it was just too late.
And it's not really like it's like if he was crying, I think it would have been okay. If he's like, you can see that visibly that he's got like his face in the dirt and he just can't get up or something. I think there's something there, but I don't really know what to make out of this. Like, what's going on here? I'm looking at it thinking, okay, like, is it really just like a beautiful image? Doesn't really matter like what he's really feeding or doing. No, it's not. It's just an ordinary picture. And in that case, there has to be something that's going on with him so that I know, like, oh yeah, he just like letting it go and he's very, very sad. Just like, maybe he just like fell over. I don't know what's going on, and it's not really good enough to say, okay, that's a good picture, because it isn't. Yeah. I've seen this so many times. So many times. Like people are obsessed about this like release thing.
Yeah, they're like these they're like check boxes. Like it's the sports photographer checkbox list. You know, like I will shoot a picture through the fence with the ball just coming off of his fingers. It's not bad, you know, like you've done everything right here as far as you know, I don't even mind like the composition of it is at least you didn't try to fit the whole body in. The background is blurred out, so you know, like all the technical things you did right, but it's still boring. You know, it's just the I talk about this all the time. We have new people, so I guess I should repeat it sometimes. I shoot baseball as infrequently as I possibly can, although it looks like that's coming to an end. Oh, yeah. But when I do, I shoot the pitchers in their first, you know, couple at bats, because once you have it for that game. Like, yes, you have a new pitcher of that pitcher pitching. So if he gets a no-hitter or a perfect game or wins his 300th game or something like that, you have it. But other than that, it's just useless, because literally there are millions of pictures of each of those pitchers floating around there. Like, think about there are 10 photographers at every game and they're blasting away for 9 innings or whatever. There's just going to be so many. It's just not rare anymore at all. And, you know, okay, it's your kid or something like that, so you want to have a nice picture of them. And if that's the goal of it, that's fine. But we're definitely trying to move you past the point of that. And, you know, it's not a bad picture. It's just not, it's not interesting. It's just a kid pitching a ball, and there are just too many of those out there.
Yeah. And it's really the worst. Like, indifferent pictures really are the worst. It's like, if it's bad, you can say it's bad, and if it's good, it's good. But it's really average, or just really, you don't get anything out of it. Just exactly that for me with this one. Any sports that is very repetitive in their motion, so baseball, swimming, what else is there? Baseball, swimming, tennis is quite close as well. Basically it's like, it doesn't, the amount of like space that they cover with their legs is very, very limited, and that usually means that it's not a, you know, they don't really come close to you, they don't really go far away from you, they stand in one place to do it. It's really not interesting. And if, you know, I really hope you never have to take this picture ever again. Like, that's it. Like, you don't have to do it. Like, you really literally don't have to do it. And you should honestly, like, get this done the first inning, the first couple pitches, you're done, boom, it's finished, and go and do something else. Baseball is quite a long game where you can do a lot of different things, you know, and do that and not have to, you know, do this shit. I really hate these kind of things. It's a standard rugby picture. It's fine. I don't mind. The color's a bit funny. You know, the guy's face is funny.
The guy's face is funny.
Yeah.
This
I don't really mind.
I don't mind this. It's funny. This picture makes me laugh.
Yeah.
And honestly, this picture should be cropped to the funny face guy's head, his hand, and his elbow, and the bit of his gut that's hanging over that.
That's sweet.
Crop it down, man. Don't be afraid. This would be great. I would love this picture so much if it was just cropped like that, just so that this guy's the focus. It would be so great. And he's got the Kleenex thing in his nose.
Yeah.
Stop the nosebleed. Oh, man, this is brilliant. This might be your best picture yet.
So Deborah, I just realized that she's new. And so I think you're a couple of new people as well, which is good. And we're happy to have new people. And it's good. Like, there's nothing wrong with this at all.
There is something wrong with it.
Really?
It's at the wrong. Listen, it's, you know, I like it. I like using the fence as the framing. You know, what people don't understand is it's good to have things in the way. It's good to use your surroundings as composition, but it's just shooting at the wrong time of the day, isn't it? You know, like, all the light is on the ramps, and there's no light on the front of him. That's not good. I
don't really mind that at all. I think it works fine, because he's in the shadows, no? And that's fine. Like, I think that actually works. He's black. He's in the shadows. I mean, I would have actually, like, then taken it a step further and got him into just, you know, much blacker than black. You know what I mean? Because I think that would have been even more interesting because of the fact that it's that, kind of lighting. And she could just, really make it very, 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 very contrasty and really underexpose it. Yeah, underexpose it. And that would have been interesting. But everything, like, she got him at the right time at the right place. I'm sure she cropped it. But yeah, I think that's the only thing. And I kind of, most of the pictures we see are during the day. And you have to find out what the lowest ISO you can do and what your lowest aperture is possible with your lens, and try to get, really as open as possible. To really don't fall into a trap of, I don't know, using the shutter priority or the P function or the automatic one. Just make sure the aperture is as high as possible, because it does bother me a bit in the whole background thing. I'm sure the aperture is quite high as well. It doesn't say, but that always, always, always bothers me. And a lot of the cases, it's just you. Like, it's a user error. It's not like it's a camera's fault. It's you actually didn't put the ISO so the f up high enough to blur out the background. But I like this one. It's good, huh?
Yeah, this is good. Yeah.
Deborah, you shouldn't be here, but I think you're a bit worried. So you probably should do it a couple more times. But really, I like the way you think, and it's very, very good. It's very creative, and it's a very, 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 very good thing. Keep on doing it, and make sure you enter the stuff on our podcast as well. So you can go to the same, basically the Flickr group page for Big Lens Fast Shutter, and enter into the masterclass, assignment desk, and we give out like assignments every month. And I want you to kind of start challenging yourself a bit, because I really don't want you to get too comfortable. If you're praising you like this, they're not telling you you're the best sports photographer ever, that you're natural and you're great. I think you have potential to be, but don't rest on your laurels and keep on really pushing yourself all the time. No, she is, though. Like, it's really good, right? Matt Cohen.
I think it is. Yeah.
All right. You love cricket, so go. There you go.
Oh man.
There's so much going on.
So, why is it so underexposed? I'm not like.
I think it's fine here. It's fine when we're looking at it.
No, it's underexposed.
I'm more concerned about the fact there's so much going on.
Yeah. Well, I'm just, there's a place to start, and it's the easiest fix that there is, get the skin tones right and worry about the jerseys later. The problem here is that I don't mind that there's a lot of stuff going on. What I do mind is the leg on the right and the guy leaning on his bat. Is it still called a bat in cricket? Paddle, bat, whatever it is. The two things on the edges are not okay, right?
Especially the guy only focused on the left hand side.
Yeah. The good thing about this picture is like when we were talking before about that goalie laying on his back or whatever, this is the opposite of that. This is like something is happening here. The guy's body is like all tensed up, and that's the good part of it. And I don't mind those other guys. I'm not even gonna try the catcher and the batter. Those guys are fine. The guy, I don't know, who is the other guy, the official?
Yeah, he's a referee.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, this is going to be a great picture one way or the other, but if you were maybe 5 feet over to the left or something like that, and you got rid of the guys on the edge, then most of the problems that I have with this picture would have been taken care of. The angle is bad. The two guys on the edges are bad, and the ref standing in the background is bad. The rest of it, there is something there. I don't mind this look. but you really have to nail it because, again, it's something that happens 100 times in a cricket game, or probably more. So, you know, you have to nail these. Like there can't be anything extra on pictures like this. Like you really have to nail it. And you know, what I would do, like if I had to shoot a ton of cricket at some point, I would rent like an 800 or whatever was the longest lens that you could rent, and just make pictures of the crazy positions that the pitchers get their bowlers. Whatever. I don't know anything about cricket, but anyway, I would just try to get as many crazy pictures for a whole game or for half of a game or something like that. Just different pictures of their body positioning, because that's the good part of the picture. So cut out the rest of it.
This is 400, huh?
Yeah, you would need a very long lens. Cricket fields are really big, and I don't think you can just be on them or whatever. But you know, it's worth renting a big lens once in a while.
But the thing is, like, you do have to realize, like, if you see this from your viewfinder, you have to start making adjustments on the fly. You know, that means that, like, you in this composition, like from this point of view, it's so messy, you know. And if you want to kind of like get like, okay, this is like all the action that's going on at the same time when the guy's bowling, you have to make a decision. If you want to go wide, I think if you go wide, it will not be so crazy distracting. The closer you get, the more distracting these things become. So either you go wide or you go very, very close, or you move. And you have to make that decision very quickly, because I don't know how long you stayed there to do this picture. You have to, you should not get so caught up in trying to get the guy in motion doing, you know, when he's bowling. Then you have to realize, like, okay, the rest of the fucking picture sucks dick, you know? And that should be you should know this by now, Simon. So start thinking a bit more, because this is really like you're not thinking at all when you're doing this. And that's not good. You're so blind to the fact that you want to get this whole thing, and you're not thinking about anything else. So it's a no-no. I think this is good. There's nothing. This is probably the best one he's done, like by far. No.
Yeah, let's not get carried away. It is the best one that he's done so far. It has a level of detail and the thought that went into this is on a different level than what he's done up till now.
Good.
The way the horizon almost comes up to the top of the frame but doesn't is good. The way that the road is, the way that the yellow lines come right to the corner, that's all very good. You know, it's fine. It's, you know,
but it shouldn't be here. I think we're gonna probably say for the first time it shouldn't be here.
Right. Well, right. Yes, that is the level. That's the appropriate level that this picture is at. It's not bad enough to be in training ground.
No,
there's nothing.
It's probably the first time we probably have to. No, maybe it's not the first time, is it?
No, it probably is.
Yeah, it probably is the first time we ever had something. It's really a good. I think it's a very good picture.
I don't think it's a very good picture.
Oh, come on. No,
I think it is relative to all the other ones. Yes, it is.
Yes, relative
to the world of cycling.
It's a good picture.
Relative to the world of cycling photography, it's average at best. Right?
My daughter wants to come up and say something. Do you want to say something? So no, it's okay. Listen, I honestly think it's a very, very good picture, just because I think there is that separation between the foreground and background. The background is interesting. So you have all the other riders there who are trying to catch up with the guy in the front, and the distance is there, and the colors are very beautiful. It's great. You did a very, very good job, Reed. Matt hates you.
I don't. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. I don't hate him.
I hate you less.
It should definitely be. He should be lower than this for sure. And I don't know. I guess he couldn't really do anything about how close they were to him or whatever. But I would have liked it if they were closer to him.
All right, off we go. Biri. It's not interesting.
No.
And you've not gone full out in like using. I think you want to use lights, no? The hard
No, no, no,
shadows
no,
and the
no.
hard lights, or you think he just like kind of just went just to do an action thing? Because if it's action thing, it's really boring. You know,
What do you mean by use lights?
like
Use the
the
light?
hard lights. I thought he was gonna
Yeah.
like underexpose it so you can just like see the lights and everything, but he didn't. He just kind of went just for a normal action thing. It's a really boring
Right.
action.
Well, here's the thing. Like, it's so rare to get this kind of thing because it's usually you don't have the really hard pockets of light like this with everything else in shadow. It's so rare that this kind of happens. Like, I can count the number of days that this is even there for a couple minutes on one hand in a whole year. And the funny thing is that one of them already happened this year and it rained the the whole day. So I got screwed out of it. Listen, it's hard. It's hard. You have to sit there and you have to expose for the sunlight and let everything else go in the shadow. And you have to hope that everything that you're trying to shoot is in the sunlight, because if it's not, you're not going to be able to see it, like the ball here. But, other than the light being really cool, there's nothing good about this picture. It's just, like a collision for the ball or whatever.
No, it's not interesting, period. Can't. And I was thinking about the lights as well. Even if the lights were, you underexpose it, you're just like, you can basically only see the parts of the body that the light is hitting. It still is a very boring scene. So no, it's a no-go, this one. It's in the garbage. But I've seen these before. And if you're going to have an image like this, and the background has to be very interesting, and the guy has to be a lot sadder, because I'm assuming he has to be sad and not, kind of like dozing off or whatever. Just can't do that. You could have just moved yourself a bit more to the left, made everything all straight. You could have gotten someone else who was much sadder, because I think I understand you want to get the guy with the face paint, because it's face paint, you get all excited about it. But me, I rather see a guy who is in tears and cannot stop crying.
This is the beginning of the game. He's not sad. He's just bored.
No, I think this is after the game.
It's before.
No.
Read the caption, after. Jackass.
That's really
Are we done here? All right.
Yeah.
I invited this, and the reason I invited it is that opportunities like this don't present themselves very often. So I did not read the caption until, just now when we were looking at it.
Wait, you called me a jackass for like not reading the caption? Come on.
Because you were insisting that it was after the game and that he was sad, and I had read it and I was telling you.
You would think so.
All right.
Because like
anyway,
you get
the point
after the match.
The point is,
not before.
The point of this is that this is spectacularly wasteful and lazy on Tom's part. Like on an epic scale of lazy and what was the other one I said? Wasteful. Lazy and wasteful. So this is a gift that was given to you by the soccer gods. The way that this guy's dressed and his face is painted, plus those green seats, is a gift, and you wasted it by trying to shoot it from the field instead of dropping every single fucking thing that you were doing and putting on the widest lens that you had and gone up there and just shot for as long as he would have let you. I'm talking about, standing on the seats in front of him and shooting him with only the seats in the background, or getting really low and making him gigantic in the frame. Like, there's so many things that you could have done with this, and it would have been like portfolio pictures. They would have looked staged almost. And instead, what we have is, oh yeah, I saw this thing in the stands. Here's my picture of it.
Yeah, but that's kind of like granted. Like the thing is, like where he's sitting, if you will use a wide angle lens, that concrete is going to be on the left anyway. You know what I mean? So you have to ask him to move or something.
No, it is.
You could have close to him.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a million things you could have done. There are a million different pictures you could have made from every single angle that was in there. without, and that's before even getting into asking him to move, which I wouldn't have done, but you know, you could.
I kind of find the whole thing boring. Like the guys, like guys. I mean, like
Because he's 30 yards away. Of
no, I
course, it's
understand.
boring.
But like, I think even if I actually got him really, really close, like if I had a very long lens, if I've gotten actually like physically close to him, you know, it's like I would rather have some kind of a reaction that he's doing to what's happening than just this dude before. I mean, it's in before a match. It's like, who cares? You know, I really personally don't. But saying all that, I think it's a really shitty picture that you could have done so much other things with it. That I absolutely, absolutely, absolutely agree. And I don't know if it's out of laziness. I don't know if it's about, at least if you're shooting from the pitch, you could angle yourself so you only get the dude and the seats. It's very easy to do. So basically, you don't shoot it landscape, you just shoot it portrait. It's fine. It's done. It's finished now. And from someone who's at Tom's level, yeah, that's a no. So I understand, like, Matt Cohen going crazy because it is bad, and you shouldn't have these kind of stuff. Like, it's really mental mistake, and you shouldn't have that kind of stuff at your level. I like a lot of these pictures, like for some reason. I think people have been doing well. You know, I think Reed's been doing well. I think that the new lady's been doing very well, and I think Kevin's picture is good as well. Not the
Yeah, I have no
best.
problem with this. This
Yeah.
is the kind of picture that if you're putting together, these 20 pictures of the game or something like that, this is a really nice intro,
The
going out
colors are
to,
good.
yeah, the color. Well, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't, this would be much less of a picture.
Yeah.
The
So it's like a
light is
white
good.
wall. Yeah, that's really good. Toyin, thanks for the pledge by then, Toyin, because we got it.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. I don't really appreciate this picture as
No.
thanks for the money. Picture
Yeah.
sucks. No, it does. I'm not joking.
the yeah,
It really
look
does.
at the position of the guy on the ground. Like he's already getting up, but he's not up. And the guy who just fouled him is helping him up. And it's a nice moment, but you didn't show that. Like we're meant to infer that it was a nice moment because there's no expressions. Like this could not be a blanker expression on this guy's face. You do. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to explain because I think it's something that really does just finally happen after you put enough work in, where you recognize what's going to happen next. You've just seen so many different situations so many times. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, this guy is not a bad guy. I can tell by the way he carries himself. And he made an unfortunate foul, and he's walking over to the guy. He's probably not going to beat him up. He's probably not going to yell at him for taking a dive because that just doesn't seem like the kind of guy he is. And he's probably going to, bend down and say sorry or offer him a hand up or something like that. And you have to be ready for that. And if it means moving, it needs moving. I just think that stuff comes with experience. Like as you're shooting a game, you're watching the guys, and you can tell, the kind of how people are going to act in certain circumstances. And I think that it's just you just need to shoot more. But this is you've just blown it here. And maybe let's be fair. Maybe there was nothing you could do about it. Maybe there was never any kind of expression on this guy's face, and he's just like I don't know, like an automaton or something like that. But
then it's not a picture,
right. But then then you just throw the picture away.
Yeah. I'm so bored with action pictures, I kind of think that it's so overplayed, and like basically like action pictures with full body, and like it has to, like, for now I've seen so many in my life. At this point, I've been living 40 years, and I think I've seen a lot of sports pictures and action pictures, but the photo and the action has to be so fantastic for me to say, wow, look at that. Like really, like holy shit, what the fuck? And it isn't. Like I've seen these kind of stuff before. So yeah, I mean I can give it a pass and say that's fine. Because you got, goalkeepers coming out and then the guy's trying to hit the ball and he probably crashed into it after that. Great. So what? Literally, so what? And if I'm gonna start nitpicking, I can probably even say like it's too far up, like the crop or whatever. Maybe it wasn't a crop. I was probably just like straight up like this.
Yeah.
There's no like space between up the head and the ball, like at the top of the frame. And I just think it's so played out. And I really want people to start getting that shit out of your head and thinking, yeah, you gotta get this like perfect picture of like ball stopping and ball like leaving the hand and the guy's like foot like on the ball like ready to impact. And I mean, give it a fucking rest. I mean, like you have to be taking and like basically like really a fascinating action picture. And other than that, I could really give two fucks about it. I really, really, really don't. And that's really, honestly, that's like, I don't know, going this rant, but that's really ruining sports photography because people think that's sports. I told you, like, the most important thing in sports, really, to me, is winning and losing. And you guys do such a shitty job of doing that every fucking single time that I really don't know. I really, literally don't understand what's in your head is always action, 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 action. There's nothing between that. Nothing, just action. Really. So not just Towen, I'm telling you, all you fuckers out there who's listening to this, like just get out of your head and show us something more. Because if you're just gonna keep on shooting action, like these kind of action stuff and showing us every single month, what are you learning? I would rather you go ahead and try something new and say, hey, you know what? I've tried something new this month. And I'm gonna try something more next month. I'm gonna show it to you. And you can tell us like, what do you think about it? And don't give us this fucking standard fucking bullshit every single time and say, hey, have a look. There's just nothing. I'm so indifferent about these things. It's even worse than actually like, loving and hating it. There you go. He's trying something.
No, this is bad.
It's disastrous. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, I mean, there's just really not that much to say about this. It's, again, when we were talking about the difference between the roller derby picture and the rugby picture, this is way more on the roller derby side where...
No, it's far worse than roller derby, this one.
Right, because it's on a bike, so the guy is completely stationary, not even moving his legs a little bit. And the dominant thing in the picture is the wheels, and you can't tell from the side if the wheel is even spinning or not. This guy could be just bunny hopping, really. No, you can't do this. Like there has to be some kind of context to show the motion. All you've done is show blur, and you have a black background, so you can't tell what's going on, and you have I don't know, a pole or wall or something like that that's even more distracting in the background. And the light's not good on this. So I don't know if it's... I honestly can't tell how this picture was even... Is it at night on a lit BMX track or something like that? I think that's what it is.
I'm just going to have a look. 35 millimeter? What the fuck? I mean, the thing, so yeah, okay. Let's say it's night, okay? So it's outside. And I'm assuming it's a competition because we're not going to be wearing all that kind of stuff if it's not a competition, right? I'm guessing, right?
I don't know. I think if you have it, you're going to want to wear it, but that's
okay. Just... But I think like 35 minutes is way too far. So you have to be really, really close to it and do all the stuff. And you haven't done that. But anyways, it's a bad photo. Like, this is shit.
No, it's, the lighting isn't good. The action isn't good.
No.
It's just not good. But that 35 1.8 is a really good lens. And it's like $130 or something like that. So, no, I'm serious. If you're looking for a lens that you can use in low light and when you can get close to stuff, that's a lens that I think people don't understand is actually really good. So
yeah, but then you have to be able to get that. Not be able. You have to get close, or you have to, you have to go either really wide or very close. That's like, don't go. That's in between is the worst with these kind of lenses. and meet people manage. She's like, my God, this training ground makes me piss off so much. Like it's just it's not good for you, you know?
No.
I think every single time I'm done with him, I'm just like exhausted and pissed off.
Yeah.
You guys did a great job of doing that. You just ruined my afternoon doing this, you know. Thank you. All right. The next one. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on?
This is better than the other one, but
yes,
sure. The thing is that like this, I get it. The pattern of the tread on the tire and the pattern of the traction, whatever, on that board. But this is screaming out for being a detail picture, but you're still too far away. You know, it's great that you're closer than you were from the rider, but it doesn't matter because you're still too far away to show the actual detail. And so what we see is, oh yeah, there's a pattern there, but it's not impressive enough to carry the picture by itself. Like you want to be way, way, way closer than this. I want the tread and that traction thing to be the only thing that you can see, because the rest of it is just whatever. You know, like I don't care if there's 2 other bikes on there. I don't care if that little platform thing extends out forever. The only thing that's interesting to me is where the tire and that metal thing meet, because there's 2 patterns there. That's all. And because you were too far away from it, you sucked all the energy out of that, and it's boring.
Okay. See, I told you, it's lows and lows and lows and lows of what is it? It is panning. And I don't mind this one either, but I'm just a bit sick of looking at panning. But I need to like give a very fair and objective of Riku Exposure's picture. He's done a lot of hockey stuff, and I like his hockey stuff. It's just a panning picture. I'm fine. Everything's okay. You know, you guys motoring along. You can see the blur. Everything's all right. Everyone's happy. They're all blurred. But is it interesting? Yeah, it's all right. It really is just all right, which really is it's not a very, very good thing either, you know? So, I don't know. It's one of those things that I wish I could give a bit more about this, but it's so just run-of-the-mill panning picture that I don't really care that much for it. So I'm sorry. I wish I can say more and get angry or not get angry, but this really isn't the case with this one. I think it's just really quite normal looking. You want to add, or you're fine with it?
No, I mean it doesn't need to be here, but it's not great. Yeah. So.
And that's the thing is like it's very rare you get instances where there's more than just running along and you can see the arm and you can see all these different things going on. And no,
this is such a Ryu picture.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. And
this is the sweet spot.
Arm. Yeah. That's good, Kevin.
I don't like it as much as he does. But I like that he likes it because it's so predictable.
Yeah, it's me thing. All right, so last one.
Yeah, this doesn't need to be here either. This is fun.
It's really noisy, huh? What's going on with that?
No, he's not shooting with the D5.
Oh no. Basically, that does end our wonderful training ground thing. If you want to join Training Ground, you have to go to flickr.com to go to the group page and do all those things. Find the thread of the current Training Ground and put your pictures there. And we will check them out. I think there's a limit. I think 2 images per person. If you are pledging for us, then it's a different story. You know, you get a bit more in that. And my daughter is crying. Okay, I have to go.
All right.
Oh dear. Okay, so that ends Training Ground. Hopefully you'll join us next month when there is no baby crying, but I'm sure she'll cry again. If you want more info on us, this is Big Lens Fast Shutter. You can find all of our info on biglensfastshutter.com. You can find us on flickr.com. The group page is Big Lens Fast Shutter. I think it was. You can just search for it. You go to flickr.com and search for Big Lens Fast Shutter. You'll find us. And that's it. Thanks for joining. I hope you had a great time, because I had a fabulous time just looking at your shitty pictures over and over. Anything, Matt? No?
No.
Okay.
Give us money.
Oh, God. All right, bye.